Focus 90% of your time on solutions and only 10% on problems. That's a quote by Anthony Angelo. Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am talking the wisdom of quotes. I know of a person who had several people working in his organization. And every time one of his subordinates came to his office to report a problem in the organization, he would sit down and listen very keenly as the person explains what is the problem, what is going on. He would listen very keenly. And then at the end, he would ask the person, what do you think we should do? How can we solve the problem? Now, if the person that came up with the problem or came to report the problem had a solution, this man would authorize the finance department to give any amount of money that is required to solve that problem. But if the person had no solution to the problem he or she came to report, then the boss would ask that person to go back, think about a solution, and then come see him when they have a solution. I wonder whether some of those people working under that man understood why he used to do that. The simple reason is that he wanted to create creative people in his organization. He did not want people that are easy to notice problems, but they do not think about solutions. Because when you have so many people in your organization who have the capacity to see problems, but they do not know or they do not come up with solutions, then that organization is doomed. It is important to spend most of your time thinking about solutions to the problems around you, then spending the same amount complaining about the problems that you see. We are only supposed to notice problems and then spend the rest of the time thinking about how to solve them. That is the healthy way of looking at things in life. There is a problem when somebody spends more time complaining and thinking about problems than they spend thinking about how to solve them. All my life, I have never enjoyed when people speak too much about problems. I mean, people that are close to me will tell you something about myself. I never like getting involved in a lot of complaining and a lot of talk about what is wrong. I do not mind, spending a little time highlighting what is not right and what is, I don't mind. But when people start spending too much time talking about what is wrong and what is wrong and what is wrong, I am completely out. I never enjoy that kind of an environment. And I thank God that that is inbuilt in me. It is just something that happens naturally in me. And I think God put it there because he knows how detrimental it is to anybody that goes that direction. The first thing that happens when a person begins to spend too much time looking at problems, thinking about problems, talking about problems, is that they become toxic. I don't know whether you've met these people who, when they start talking, they can spend hours and hours complaining about everybody and everything. And by the time the talk is over, you realize they are so toxic, they literally affect you. They even drain your passion and your energy, so that even you are blinded by their complaint. They pull you into a dark place where there is no light to see a solution. Because all they do is talk about what is wrong and what is wrong with so-and-so, and what is wrong with so-and-so, and what is wrong with the country, and what is wrong with the church, and what is wrong with this marriage, and what is wrong with that relationship, and what is wrong with everything. People that are like that, they are toxic. Their hearts are toxic. They lose the ability to produce positive energy. And this kind of talk is very important because in my country presently, I'm sad that in my country, a lot of people, a lot of citizens in my country, and I think around the world, all over the world, people have become more of complainers than solution producers. Many people don't produce solutions. They complain. And where people complain too much, there are never solutions. They complain and they waste all the energy they would have spent looking for solutions. They spend it complaining. And when they are done with complaining, the only thing they can do is sleep, because there is no more energy to produce anything positive. So problems of spending too much time looking at problems and complaining can become toxic. And if you spend time with people who like to look at problems more than solutions, if you're not careful, they will affect you with their toxins. Your heart will soon begin to become very toxic, so that you never produce anything positive. Everything that comes out of you is negative. And you know that somebody has become toxic by how they talk. Because out of the overflow of the heart, and when we say the heart, it's out of the overflow of the mind, because the mind is what is called the heart. Out of the overflow of the heart, a person speaketh. So you know what is in them by what they say, and how long they spend saying it, and how much conviction they say it with. So get rid of the toxins. It's okay to notice problems, and it is okay to highlight them. It's okay to mention them. It's even okay to talk about them, but don't spend too much time on them. Notice them and start looking for solutions. Start thinking, what should I do to solve them? Look at problems as opportunities. That is the best way to look at problems. Do you realize the world would never have advanced if there were no problems? That's a good way to look at it. Stop thinking that having a problem is the end of everything. Think that maybe it is the beginning of something good. Because problems create progress. Problems create movements. Problems create opportunities to become creative, to produce something that is fresh and something that is new. Look at things like that. That is how people of purpose, people that are growing, that is how they look at things. People that are on a journey going somewhere in life look at problems like that. Problems are opportunities. It's because there have been problems, people became millionaires. People make money because there are problems. Every problem is a business, and every problem is an opportunity. So look at problems from a different dimension, with an insight. Don't become a complainer. Listen, like I've said, when people over-focus on problems, they become toxins. And when people they become toxic. And when people become toxic, they stagnate in life. Have you met people that have stagnated in life? One of the things about them is that they just became toxic. When you become too toxic, you can't move. You stagnate. And all you attract is people that have the same kind of toxins. Have you noticed most complainers attract complainers? Have you noticed that? Most people that like complaining seem, for some interesting reason, to always attract people that like complaining. So you meet a group of 10 people, besties, best friends, who are complainers. They meet to complain. They meet to have coffee and just complain. And that is all they ever do. And by the time they walk out, they don't have a solution. They have complained so much. Each one of them is being drained of energy. They go home and wait for another day to meet and complain, and attract more complainers. look at problems from a positive side. Have you ever read somewhere that Jesus complained? And I'm talking about Jesus as one of the greatest leaders that ever lived on earth. One of the most purpose-driven person that has ever walked on earth. Have you ever, if you study people that seem to be going somewhere, do you see people who complain a lot? No. Most people that are progressing in life do not embrace complaining and murmuring and looking at problems and, talking about. They embrace positivity. They look at things. They always stand from a positive position to look at everything, and everything includes problems. Over-focusing on a problem kills creativity. You cannot be creative if you over-focus on what is wrong. Like I've said, we only look at problems to highlight them or to notice them, then we go for solutions. We don't spend too much time looking at them because they'll paralyze you. So don't spend so much time. Look at it. It's okay. Even talk about it. But don't spend too much time on it. Don't let it paralyze you. Over-focusing on a problem drains you of positive energy, feeds you with negative energy, makes you toxic, and then kills creativity. That is why I like the story that I gave at the beginning about that gentleman who insists that when you go to his office to talk about a problem that you have noticed in the organization, make sure you have a solution for it. And he will authorize for any amount of funds you need for that to be solved. Because he doesn't want to create people in his organizations that are not creative. Because once people in an organization, once people are not creative and all they are is see problems, that organization stops progressing. It becomes stagnant. You remember what I said? Over-focusing on a problem makes you toxic, and once you become toxic, you become stagnant. That's how some organizations become stagnant. They are not able to move because organizations are moved by decisions. And for you to make a healthy, creative decision, you must not over-focus on a problem. You must focus most of your time on solutions. Focus on creating a solution. What do we do about it? We have a problem, yes. How do we solve the problem so that we can progress ahead? And I'm not only talking about organizations, I'm talking about your own personal life. Do not focus on what is wrong. Do not over-focus on what is wrong. You can notice what is wrong in your life, but once you notice it, start thinking about solutions. And if you are not able to produce or come up with a solution, look for friends to help you find a solutions. That is where good friends comes in, because it is good to have friends that help you with solutions, that are positive about life, that help you to be positive, so that even if you ever sink into some kind of negativity, they can pull you out of it and tell you, hey, life is beautiful, life is great, there are solutions, we are not doomed, there is a great future ahead, let's think about solutions. Approach life like that. This channel is about inspiration, this channel is about growth, and therefore it's important to talk about things like this, because when you are growing, you need to stay positive. Because if you go negative, then you stagnate.